Historic moment. Princess Leonor stuns Spain during royal visit 2025 as Princess of Viana. Everyone expected a simple royal ceremony, a few smiles, a few speeches, and the usual polished charm. But no one, not even the royal insiders, could have predicted what Princess Leonor did next. In an instant, what began as a formal visit became a defining moment in Spain's modern monarchy, a gesture so heartfelt, so unexpected, that it left an entire nation silent, and then cheering through tears. Because this was not just a royal appearance. It was the rebirth of what it means to wear a crown. It was a bright morning in Viana, a small, ancient town glowing with flags, music, and thousands of people waiting since dawn. The air was thick with excitement, but also curiosity. This was the first time Princess Leonor would officially visit the region as the Princess of Viana, the historic title linked to the future monarch of Spain. At just 19, she was already stepping into her destiny, but what no one saw coming was how she would redefine it. As the royal motorcade slowed, the crowd erupted in cheers. Leonor stepped out, radiant yet humble, dressed in a soft white ensemble with subtle gold embroidery, a deliberate nod to Navarre's ancient heritage. Cameras flashed, flags waved, and yet, there was something different about her energy. Confident, grounded, real. Everyone expected a royal speech. But instead, Leonor walked toward the people, breaking centuries of protocol. She crossed the barrier separating the royals from the crowd, reached out to an elderly woman waving a small Spanish flag, and hugged her. That moment, captured by every lens, rippled across the nation. Spain saw not just a princess, but a future queen who understood what the people had been longing for: connection. Who taught Leonor to be so human in a world built on formality. Those who know her say it's Queen Letitia's influence, the journalist who became queen, the woman who turned protocol into empathy. Leonor has watched her mother navigate storms of criticism, diplomacy, and modern media with grace. But now, Leonor is not just following her mother's footsteps, she's setting her own path, blending tradition with authenticity. And this royal visit was proof. The Princess of Viana title has roots going back over 500 years, a symbol of unity between Spain's diverse regions. To hold that title means carrying not only privilege but also history, politics, and expectation. Yet, instead of standing above the people, Leonor chose to kneel before them, literally. When she laid a small wreath at the monument honoring Navarre's fallen soldiers, she bent down, touched the ground, and whispered a few words in Basque and Spanish. Those nearby said she thanked them for their courage and promised to serve all of Spain equally. The crowd went silent, many holding back tears. Was this part of the plan, or a spontaneous act straight from the heart? Sources close to Zarzuela Palace later revealed, no, it wasn't scripted. The Queen and King were as surprised as everyone else. But afterward, King Felipe reportedly told aides, she understands her country better than anyone her age ever has. And perhaps, that's true. Because Leonor's actions that day weren't just about symbolism, they were about healing. Spain has gone through difficult years, political division, generational disconnection, and debates about the monarchy's role in modern society. But in that single moment, a 19-year-old princess reminded millions what unity looks like. Not through speeches, through silence, empathy, and presence. Later that afternoon, during her official address in the Viana Plaza, Leonor spoke calmly but powerfully. Being Princess of Viana is not just an honor, it's a responsibility to understand every voice that makes Spain what it is. I am here not only to represent, but to listen. Those words, simple yet profound, echoed through every news channel and social platform within minutes. The hashtag, Leonor de Viana, trended globally. People compared her to her father during his early reign, and to her mother's emotional diplomacy. But this felt new, this felt hers. Could this moment mark the beginning of a new royal era, one led by emotional intelligence and youth? Or was it just a fleeting spark of sentiment? By evening, that question seemed answered. As she left the ceremony, Leonor stopped her entourage once more, this time to greet a group of young students holding handmade banners that read, Nuestro futuro está contigo, our future is with you. She smiled, took their letters, and said softly, it's with all of us. That single phrase became the headline across Spain. In Madrid, commentators called it the new language of royalty. In Barcelona, young people said she finally made the crown relatable. And in Viana, local residents said the town had not felt that alive in decades. Even opposition politicians, often critical of the monarchy, admitted it was a masterclass in empathy. This wasn't a press moment. It was a human one. As night fell, Leonor returned to the royal residence with her family. But inside the palace, reports say, the mood was deeply emotional. Queen Letizia was seen wiping tears as she embraced her daughter. King Felipe reportedly told her, "Today, you didn't act as my heir, you acted as Spain's heart." For Leonor, this was not just a day of duty, it was the day she became something more than a princess. She became a symbol of hope for a modern Spain, proud of its roots, open to its future. What happens next for Princess Leonor after such a defining moment? Those close to her say this was just the beginning. She plans more regional visits, to Andalusia, Catalonia, and even remote villages across Spain, focusing on youth initiatives, education, and culture. And behind the elegance, there's strategy. Leonor understands that modern monarchy isn't about distance, it's about presence. About being seen, heard, and felt. The next morning, Spanish newspapers described her as the heartbeat of a new Spain. But to those who were there, it wasn't just history. It was emotion. They didn't just witness a royal event, they felt it. The girl who once waved shyly from palace balconies had become a young woman ready to carry her nation's weight, not through power but through purpose. And as the sun set over the town of Viana that night, one truth was clear: Spain had seen its future queen, and she had already begun to reign, not from the throne, but from the heart. Sometimes, history doesn't announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes, it arrives quietly, in the warmth of a smile, the courage of a gesture, and the voice of a princess who reminds us all that true royalty begins with humanity. Princess Leonor's visit to Viana in 2025 wasn't just a royal duty. It was a love letter to Spain, written not in ink, but in action. And from that day forward, the people knew, the crown is safe, because it beats with a heart that truly belongs to them.